God. I'm telling you, these people always have their hand out for some money. It's incredible. Like, the only thing they care about is how much they can squeeze out of you. Yeah, today I've got a shift from 6 in the afternoon to 1 in the morning. So I'll probably stream for like an hour or two, and then after that I'll go and attempt to get some more sleep before this thing starts. I just find it so funny, and I've talked about this a few times, how I'm really at this point now where it feels like almost every relationship, and I'm not even just talking about like, ones with family, but just every attempt at having a supposed relationship where there's a person that communicates the idea that they care about you or they're concerned about you or some of that effect, it always just feels so fake and not real. Um, it's like you have this person that comes up to me yesterday. They're talking about, oh, you can give me the money tomorrow, uh, for so I can go out and get some toilet paper because apparently toilet paper costs over $100. And it's like that person, they make sure they always are able to squeeze these coins out before the end of the month, and they have the nerve as they see me kind of just like on the computer, just whatever. Because I'm not, as I said before, this is coming off the heels of all these different car issues and this dealership or auto shop trying to squeeze half of 10 grand out of me or close to that amount. And I said, to hell with that. So it's just, it's really not a period where I've been satisfied with anything money related because it's all just, they want this amount, they want that amount, that type of stuff. So she, you know, brings this up yesterday, and then I guess sees me later on, just kind of like on the computer, not really smiling because what the hell would I be smiling about? Uh, and she's like, "Oh, what's wrong? Are you okay? What's wrong? Just go away." Man, it's like I just think it's so funny. Like the only thing they care about are some coins. That's it. All the rest of the stuff, are you all right? Just go. I don't use that phrase. I already had one weird person say that to me earlier this week. I don't know what it is with these computer people and calling somebody their bro. Like it's always these like weird guys that you don't see throughout 99% of the year. They'll just pop up out of. I swear. Sometimes I think they grow these people in a factory and just start. Hey, bro, just go away. Every time they do that, it is so obnoxious because it's usually someone you've never seen before typing that. All these random characters just appearing out of the clear blue sky. I'm still debating if I want to address what that individual wrote in the video. I guess I could tie it into like the bigger thing of all this fan fiction because that's one of the hallmarks of people online when they don't want to believe what you're saying, they just create their own version of events. They just start making stuff up to fill in the gaps of what you either don't want to answer or not. Or even if you do answer it, they still will like try to spin stuff or alternate it in some way. And that guy really is no different. Like you do a video where you say, oh yeah, this person who I was just talking to, yeah, she had her boyfriend told her that he didn't want her to speak to me because he doesn't think she can talk to any man that's not him without cheating on him, even if the guy lives in another state or country. And then the guy's response to the video, so she friend zoned you? It's like, no, 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 no. Why the hell would you have thought I left YouTube? Did I make a farewell video? Like where's your logic? I swear, just what is the point of this interaction? They just appear and write this stuff. God, I don't know what is wrong with these people. They'll just type the weirdest stuff out of nowhere. Hello, person that has consistently uploaded content for the last 7 years. I thought you left the site. Oh, did I make a farewell video? Did I go on some hiatus? No, I thought you left the site. How so? What were the indicators of that? That's the craziest thing to me, that like you guys will have a person that just consistently uploads stuff, and then as they're uploading and you're ignoring what they're putting up, you're going to say that you thought they didn't even make stuff anymore. The logic, man, it is astounding. Well, that's what makes even less sense, because if you're subscribed to somebody for years, you can go and look in your subscription tab and I'll show you all the stuff that people are putting out related to the channels that you're subscribed to. There are plenty of people I don't watch anymore, but I know that even if I unsubscribe or don't watch them, it's not like they're just going to magically stop making stuff because I'm not watching them anymore. And if I'm really curious if they make things or not, I'll just go and look at my tab. I've been busy. I've been busy too. Me being busy doesn't stop me from knowing that people still make stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That if you actually think someone has stopped making things, you can go and look on your subscription tab and see who's still making things or not. I'm doing that right now. We're all busy. I don't know what the logic of that stuff is. They just the laziness of people on this website will never not astonish me. Yeah, that's always one of the biggest problems with streams. Just random individuals show up writing all kind of weird stuff. I don't know. I just don't have the patience for it like I used to because I guess this year has just been so awful with all the behind the scenes nonsense with these different crappy relatives that I just don't have the willingness to just sit there and read that stuff for 2 hours or however long they want to sit there and write it. It's all just so weird. I don't know what that was. Just man, they are crazy on here. I tell you. Let's see what this person wrote. I mean, my policy has always been the same thing. I'm a lot more inclined to be kind of like reserved or reluctant to just get rid of someone if they're like a person I've seen on several streams or comments on different things. But when you come and say, "Oh, I've been sub to you for years. I didn't even know you still made videos," like, yeah, get out of here. Tell you once you get 1,000 subs, any of the ones you get after that are just pointless because most of them don't watch. They're just there to inflate a number that really does not matter. The only thing I can get for more subs is a stupid plaque. I wouldn't even know where to put it because I don't have any room for it. So they can take their fake support and waste somebody else's time with that. The only thing that matters on this site is views. They want you to sit there. This person's been sub to me for 3 years. There was another guy that did that where he came on there writing some weird stuff. I found that he'd been sub to me for like 6 years or 5 years, a long time. And it's like, how are you gonna sit here and miss somebody's content year after year after year after year, and then pop up writing some weird stuff, and the person's supposed to be like, okay, well then, what the hell are you doing here? If you're so offended or bothered by whatever, then get out. There's a lot of content out there. That's why I said, where do they come from? It's like they're grown in a factory. Just appear out of the clear blue sky. That's the saddest part of all these goofy relationships and just people online. It's like, I don't know, I feel like if someone's talking about something and you come over there with whatever anecdotal story you want to tell of how you just discovered that they're still around, it's just I just think it's tacky, but whatever. Like I don't usually even go on people's streams anyway, at least not ones that actually respond to the chat. But ideally, if I had not been on someone's channel for months or years, I probably would ask them how they're doing just as like a courtesy thing of, hey, I haven't watched you in a bit, even old enough, whatever, some of that effect. Not, I've been subbed for years. I didn't know you still made content. I thought you were dead. Telling you, it's nuts. Plus, all that stuff is just so much of a waste. Like, to sit here and even have to respond to that is hilarious to me. And people online will be the first ones to make fun of somebody for not having a job, but it really does feel like these people don't, because they know what time you stream, even if they don't like say anything normally, they know what kind of little weird stuff to type up. It's crazy. Just a real strange assortment of characters. Mm. Just nuts. So anyone I don't watch, they're not even making stuff anymore. I feel like he ripped that off that other guy that came on there and was like, you still make videos? Wow. I'm gonna start doing. I was gonna go to every channel I used to watch on this big like nostalgia trip and just be like, I can't believe you're actually making content to this day. I mean, like people just think the world stops when they want it to. Like if you're not watching someone anymore, they just disappear. It's crazy. So I said the ego on these guys, man, just they act like they are the biggest thing in the world. All matters of anything revolves around them, and if you're not currently being watched by them, that means you must have just quit. You must have just thrown in the towel. That's the part that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I get it if you're not subbed to somebody anymore, maybe you forgot their name, whatever it happens. But if you're still subbed to that person for years and they stream twice a week for years, and you come on the stream talking about, I didn't know you were still making this. Like, well, I don't know what would have led you to believe that. If this person is consistently pumping stuff out, like what is your logic there? Oh, there is none. That's what I said. They don't even think. They just type stuff, try to see what sticks. Hmm. Now the worst part of that job is definitely the parking. I'll be the first one to admit that they have this really. I always hate it when you have a restaurant and they have a drive through, and then the parking lot, the place where you would park, are not far enough from that drive-through to where you could just back out all the way without having to worry about, oh man, this car might, pull up behind me and I smack him in the front. So that's the number one thing I look forward the least to. Figuring out where to park. Because it's not easy when you're talking about a place like that. No, but so far the worst part of having two jobs was the whole like, having to like wash multiple uniforms and then also like remember which part is for this and um one of them being close to me is good. The other one being so far is annoying, but it is what it is. Yeah, I feel like we've addressed the whole fake love, fake concern angle before. Like I said, it really just comes down to people want to believe they're better than they are. Like they want to think that they're good or decent because they ask someone how they're doing, but they don't give a damn. Like I said, I'd have a lot more respect for them if they just owned up to it. Like we talked about the those guys that write the comments of like I'm the one on that one stream. I'm invested in your growth. It's like no, you're not. That's why you haven't shown up on anything I've put up in the last 2 or 3 years until you want to run your mouth one weekend. But again, it's the facade, right? They can think that they're a better person than they are because oh, I'm so concerned about you, individual. I never do anything to try and show my supposed devotion to or concern for, rather. Okay, so I'm sure somebody else could pull for that trash, but not me. No, all of these romantic relationships are so funny. Just when you watch them from the outside, they can be really comedic. Because there, it's like you've got this woman who, knows how garbage her boyfriend is, but certainly not enough to actually do anything about it or to, cut the umbilical cord and be like, hey, look, I don't enjoy being treated this way. This is stupid. You don't see any of that from her because none of it's real. It's all just a big hoax. So many lies. Um, I think it really just comes down to stuff is slanted too much in favor of, people convincing themselves of something that isn't so. Like I made the point in my video, I said, is love, right? This word, right? Someone that that you supposedly love, does that entail allowing someone to tell you who you can and can't talk to? Giving in to their ridiculous and very absurd paranoia? I'm just asking, like I don't I can't quantify the idea that a genuine desire to be with someone is accompanied with just this type of response to the most you know mundane stuff like hey, oh, you're talking to this man about shows or movies. Oh, you must be cheating on me with him even though he lives in another state that's halfway across the country. Yeah, you're cheating on me with him. It's just insane. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. It's really nuts. Again, people believe this garbage. And of course, they've got this one actress selling $100+ pictures of her backside. Mm. I'm sure somebody will go and pick it up. Not me though. For a few reasons. I mean, one, I don't even have anywhere I could hang that anyway. But two, it's just not really a thing I'm that interested in. I don't know. How's a way of putting it? I guess in an abstract sense, there have been women, like just different actresses and ones that have been in stuff I've liked where I can look at them and admit that they were or are attractive, like pretty, whatever. But then as far as like, do I need to have this image of them that's kind of like provocative or very much so designed to appeal to men or like drooling over them? I don't know. I just don't feel like it's really something I want to get involved with or have rather. Yeah, I was talking to this one guy yesterday, and they told me about their problems with their, I guess, family. And I said, "Wow." Mm. I'll still never get over how crazy it is that I could go to sleep at 2 o'clock and then wake up at 9, and then even if you get 7 at like last 30 minutes, like basically any amount of time I sleep, I'll probably always feel sleepy after that. Which is one of the reasons why I'm not really the biggest fan of having to wait until the late afternoon to start working somewhere because I feel like by design, if you get up in the morning, you're more likely to feel tired than if you were to just like sleep all day, which is something I would prefer to do. But the issue is that there's so all these other things that are kind of like happening where you can't really just. It's one of those things where it's like the person you tell them, "Hey, I'm not going in until 6. I want to sleep to." Oh, can you do this favor for me? Can you drive it? Just that. That's the issue, and that's why I said I really wish I lived alone because at least then, I wouldn't have to worry about someone interrupting me because that did happen about a week or two ago, and it really irritated me where they just kept interrupting like over and over again. Just really obnoxious. I'm just thinking about how this actor had their post screenshotted by somebody and they made a thread about it on Reddit, and that led to them talking trash about the person in pretty much every which way. And I'm like, man, could you imagine if like you posted a tweet or I don't know, maybe I mean even like in the community post for YouTube, that's kind of the same thing. But like just imagine one post about you wanting to be in a movie gets a dozen or so different people to talk trash about you for over 100 comments. Like it's crazy. No, it's just a really disgusting group, I tell you. And of course, they get really triggered when somebody makes a video about them, which I find really funny because it's like you guys consider and talk all this trash in comment sections and typing on stuff, but if somebody screenshots your stuff, puts in the video, oh my god, look what they did. We got mentioned. They were talking about it. I just find it hilarious. So many paper tigers, man, I tell you. People just sit around and they act like I don't know, they have no ability to just think for themselves. And they really do seem like a hive mind, like the Borg from Star Trek, where it's just this collective unit that all says the same stuff and repeats it and whatnot. It's really disturbing. This person asked, "What's the holdup on Part 4?" I said it's simple. I mean, I'm using two different books, and I'm trying to get information from one of them is like 500 pages long in terms of what part of it I'm using. Um, and for the sake of not having a 4, 5, 6 hour part four, I'm trying to condense it or at least get the stuff that's mostly pertaining to LBJ. Um, but I've also got this other book, the Dalek one that I'm trying to like integrate in there as well. So it really just comes down to having both of them as I guess references, and then going from there and deciding which one you're gonna, like trying to implement stuff from both of them is what is causing the delay, and how one of them is like half of 1,000 pages long, so I have to also read through that, and it's just it's. I think it'll be done before the end of next month. I really do, and also the job stuff is taking my time as well, so that's that. But I'm confident it'll be finished before the end of the year. And maybe then part 5 will get done as well. Maybe we can finally start an FDR, I don't know. Hmm. Man, doing a documentary is so interesting, I tell you. Having your source material and putting things in your own words to try and make sure that you don't slip up or anything like that. It's real fascinating. It's funny how those only like they've already had their own share of weird comments on them too. Like the guy that came on part 1 talking about, is part 2 going to come out in 20 years? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like I said, I just find the whole process of this stuff insane. Just how quickly they expect you to have this really rapid turnaround. Like, here's this brand new video. It took this person probably some days or weeks to do. When is the next one being released? Like, Jesus. That reminds me, I was working that one job and they had me lifting these. Because me and Megumi had talked about this before. Just like these jobs will hire a bunch of women and they'll have them, like, let's say they spray some down, they clean this, whatever. But when they have manual labor, like things you have to physically pick up, they have the one or two guys that they hire to do that instead. And the guy was working with, it's like, we don't even get a expletive break. It's true, because right after we picked one thing up, they said go pick this up. And he was so just irritated with it that he didn't even bother coming back the day after that. He was, you could tell how tired of that he was. No, that's the biggest problem with these jobs. They just feel like if you're a guy, do all the physical stuff. Um, Even if by virtue of us having women that work here too, we probably should have some of them doing something physical. If not, then maybe we shouldn't hire so many women that can't do it. Because that's really what my problem is. It's like because you're trying to like be fair, or maybe your thing is like more slanted toward having women, whatever. You think, oh, it's okay. I have some guys that can do. It's like, yeah, but that still means that they can't. You're putting more work on the ones who can actually lift this stuff, not the not the whole group as a collective, which is the way it should be, where everyone works together. They love overworking men, I tell you. I mean, that's the biggest problem and reason why I didn't want to work in any of these restaurants, because when they start talking about speed and picking up the pace, and you've got these stupid machines where you can only go at a certain speed because you have to click the thing and it lets whatever's out. It's just dumb. And that's why I said I didn't even celebrate getting hired by either one of them, because I know from experience the same place that will sit there begging for you to join them. You give it 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, they're doing this to you because they don't care. You're the flavor of the month. You were the nice little short term solution that they're glad to be rid of. These places will toss you out before your seat can even get warm. Oh, and that's what really fueled my disdain toward them, like as a collective, because in previous years, I always had that safety net of someone I could stay with, for free. Where it's like, okay, whatever, you got fired by this place. They're not, it's no big deal. Obviously, it wasn't some desired outcome for me because I did want to work somewhere long term. But even if that did end up happening, I could still say, okay, well, I don't really need them anyway because I'm being helped by something. But now, where everyone is just trying to squeeze coins out of you and nobody cares about if you eat or nothing, then yeah, it's even more awful. It was funny, the guy at the car place was trying to act like he was so concerned. He's like, I just don't feel comfortable giving you the car back. Like, dude, if you actually cared about me and my safety, your prices wouldn't be so damn high. Okay, like that's the first indicator. 8,000 to fix a car. Like at that point, you might as well go buy another one. Anytime car repairs cost more than the price of just getting a new car, that's nuts. Because I saw the stuff they're doing to quote unquote fix it, and I'll just put it this way: the parts they need you can get online for less than $300, and I'm also talking about the drills and what all the little tools you use to open stuff up and cut it open or whatever. Um, so I couldn't for the life of me understand why they would need that much damn money other than just pure greed. That's like they're charging you for a labor fee, they're charging you for the parts, they're charging you for it's weird. It's really weird. Like how if I'm able to actually put that in myself when these pieces and all the other little knickknacks come between today and tomorrow, that'll be the final nail in the coffin for these dealerships because as long as it's stuff that if you can get the tools somewhere, then you can do it yourself. The only thing they're going to be good for me anyway, is like running diagnostic checks. Like, hey, why is this thing acting this way? Go look at it, and then they go and look at it. But other than that, I'll be done with them forever. Supposed to give these bastards thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for stuff that give me a break. My favorite part of that job was when they were the guy, one of the managers told me, like, instructed me to clean up the floor with this broom, and I don't know. This is just the way my mind works. If the store is closed and you want to like clean it up for the people next day when they start whatever, but like what is strange to me, and of course I did it because whatever, but it's just I just thought it was so weird to have as people are working and there maybe some food is falling on the ground. You're supposed to clean it up. But then right after you clean it up, it's gonna go right back to looking that way because 'cause they're still working. I don't know, just that's just my opinion that, like, if it's while they're still doing it, anytime you clean, it's just gonna be a temporary, very, very short-term solution because 'cause they're gonna go right back to having it dirty when more food hits the ground the next few minutes or so. I'm telling you, people just, I don't know what the deal with them is. Between all the little goofy rules that they have and like, I remember there was this one place I was trying to work at where it's not really a I guess you could call it a restaurant, like a delivery service, whatever. And they were talking about if your pants get faded, you need to buy some more. And I'm like, huh? If you have somebody bending over and crouching and cleaning floors of bathrooms and the floor in their business, like they're gonna get probably have some clothing damage. Maybe not some big huge amount, but if they have to get on their knees to do this stuff, they're probably going to show some signs of that. I just think it's so dumb. Like, ooh, your pants are faded. So what? Because that's just them trying to make you spend more money. Oh, go buy some more pants. Mm. Delivery driver. Mm. Delivery drivers and the rest of that stuff is all just a bunch of theatrics. Like, ooh, you get to drive around town and have a bunch of different foods with you that if they fall over, we're gonna blame you for. And if they're not hot when they get there, they're gonna blame you for that too. And if your car gets hit while you're delivering stuff for us, you're gonna paying insurance. My favorite thing is that they showed us the video of the not video, the pictures from the video of the employee that went over to somebody's house and put on the gold chain and was smoking and holding a gun, all other little weird stuff. And um again, they tried to like protect his identity, but I found it in like 2 seconds on Google, and it's even more comedic thinking that he apparently stayed at that house for almost an hour after dropping the food off. It's like, how do you think about, like, I've never heard of a business where an employee, because most of these like different delivery stores or whatever, they tend to have uh what's a good way of putting it? Some sort of limit on how far away you can drive. Like they say, hey, within 15 miles, within 10 miles, whatever. So what's crazy to me is that this guy, like he went to deliver this thing, didn't come back for an extremely inordinate amount of time, but then somehow he's able to like not get in trouble. It took that stupid video coming out for them to know that he was playing hooky. Really? Crazily enough, playing hooky ended up being the least of his problems. I find so funny, like he actually just got away with that altogether. Like would have gotten away with it altogether if they hadn't recorded him. You can just like work a job and then not come back for 40 minutes after delivering something that's like 10 minutes away, and they'll just be like, okay, whatever. Also, it's comedic because they were talking about like, oh, he's paying for damages to the reputation of the company. It's like, well, I mean, I guess that makes sense from a legal standpoint, but if you guys are sharing around this video at your tutorial meetings of how of to get new employees to sign up, whatever, isn't it counterproductive to show it? If you're concerned about damages, you wouldn't talk about it. You would try to like sweep it under the rug. You wouldn't go, oh, hey, here's a person that did something we don't want you to do. It's like, yeah, but you're saying this hurt your reputation, yet you're playing the video, you're showing footage or screenshots from the video that ruined your reputation. Makes total sense. I was trying to convince my friend to go see the Marvels this weekend, but he say he doesn't want to do it, and I can't really say I blame him. For one thing, I'm more fascinated in just how, because people don't understand this, but when you have a movie series or even just any series, right, and it's at the top of its game, it's making mountains of money for everybody involved, the actors, the writers, the producers, all the company, everyone, just billions of dollars. And not even 5 years after their two big climactic films, Infinity War and Endgame, you're seeing record breaking drop offs in the box office. Just like, it was one thing for Ant-Man 3 to underperform, but the Marvel's not even making 200 million when damn near every movie that Disney makes now is like at least 200 million. Um is really nuts. I see people say this before, but it's like they spend all this money on these movies and they look like trash. Like a bunch of green screen. Um, just I don't know. I just feel like if they like I really do wonder what the budget, what that 200 million really goes to. I Because it certainly isn't the visuals. I think it looks terrible. A lot of this stuff, just like we were talking about with No Way Home, they had the Goblin's mask as CGI. Like, is it really cheaper to just to make a CGI version of the mask? You could just make a physical one like they did over 20 years ago. Like I said, everything is fake. No, he's probably going to end up not seeing it. I mostly was saying it as a joke, but I don't know. There is like a there's a morbid curiosity. It's not like Black Panther though, where it was like, oh man, everybody's talking about this movie. It must be pretty good. It's like, oh, everybody's talking about the Marvels, but no one is going to see it. It must be pretty bad. Honestly, if they get to still have sequels after this, that shows you that Disney is just they don't know what they're doing. If the supposed first installment or whatever this is supposed to be couldn't even break even, right? Then I don't know why you would continue with any of these characters. Because I'm hearing about Miss Marvel season 2, and you had some interview with Brie where she was like, "Oh, they haven't. We've just begun scratching the surface of my character," and I'm like, "Oh my god, you're in what? 3 movies, 4 movies? I think it's still three. Where it was. Well, I guess if you count post, you have major appearances in 2 films. I feel like that's enough. Three if you want to count Endgame, but I don't because she wasn't that big a part of it. Thank God. It just seems like no one actually likes this character outside of the people who just consume all MCU stuff and are fine with everything Marvel related under the sun, right? Like period altogether. They just love all of Marvel's films, no matter how whatever the quality is, they just like it. Because like I said, they tried to convince themselves, oh, her first movie made over $1 billion, so people like her. But now you're seeing that that actually was not the case, and rather than respond to that by saying, maybe we should scale her back, maybe we should try to put some focus on some other character. Um, they don't do that. Everybody was talking about Black Panther 2 flop. Black Panther 2 flopped. Black Panther 2 made what, $800 million. The Marvels wishes it was Black Panther 2. That's the worst part about these films and these box offices, where a lot of these people think if a Marvel film doesn't make $1 billion, then it's a failure. And it really seems like no matter how successful they are, it doesn't matter. Like No Way Home made over a billion, and we still have no idea when we're getting a sequel to that. No release date has been announced. Been 2 years, just total blankness. Part of me almost thinks we might not even like if we get a fourth one. I don't think they're, because of how long it's taking to get the fourth one. Unless they film them back to back, I don't think we're going to get a college trilogy, as people have said that on the site before. I think they'll do one more solo movie with Holland, and then he'll be in probably both of the Avengers 5 and 6, and that'll be it for him. He's like talking about, I don't want to keep playing this character until I'm past 30. Well, 30 is coming up, buddy. Just a few more years. That's not me insulting him. I'm just recounting what he said. Actors are always trying to get out of these roles. It's real comedic. I remember Zoe Saldana had some interview where she was talking about she felt artistically not bankrupt, but it was something to the effect of she didn't feel as if she was able to really do all of what she wanted with her film roles because she felt like they were very similar to each other. I said, if we're talking about a normal person who works some job they don't like because they need to make ends meet, I get it. But if you're an actor and you're getting paid millions of dollars to be in all this crap, then I mean, my sympathy for you is kind of limited because you're getting paid amounts of money that most people dream of making. So, it's kind of, I mean, my thing is basically I'll never forget I had one person who told me any job that you take, there's going to be some part of it you hate. Just like one of the two, I don't like that they don't give me a schedule before the week starts. So I'm always like wondering, am I going to be booked for this day, booked for that day? Um, the other part of it is I really don't like and actually really despise the drive and the parking for this other one. So when I see, and again, I still work there anyway, I haven't quit yet. But when I see someone who says, "Oh man, I feel artistically depraved because I can't play a larger variety of characters," like, well, I mean, hey, you know, too bad. There's a lot of actors they wish they could play in these blockbuster franchises and get their names out there and get to show off their talents, but they don't get that chance. And sometimes it really doesn't matter how talented you are. I mean, you still end up basically just being screwed over or not being able to progress to the degree that you would have preferred. That's just how this stuff works, unfortunately. No, they were a really hard group of people for me to be sympathetic towards. I guess I put it like this: when you're someone who's had their own financial issues, hardships, whatever, and you've got a person who doesn't have to worry about that at all, but they're talking about, oh, I don't get to play this role. I'd like it's like, okay, I don't get to work the hours I like, but you still do it anyway. I just think this whole thing is insane. Oh, what did he say 40 minutes ago? Can you work this Thursday? Does he? I swear, this thing is like a cartoon. I'm starting to think some of the people that are like in charge of these places have like short-term memory loss or something. This doesn't make any sense. Birthday with a wish. Oh, okay. They're trying to do some kind of promotional thing. They can have it. That's actually kind of crazy. They scheduled me for What day is this? For a Sunday at 2 p.m. I told them I wasn't whatever. So that's let's see, that's for the week after this one. So for December we have Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. That is actually kind of crazy. Well, let me send this guy this thing again, see if he. I don't know. I just that's been the most obnoxious part of this stuff because you're trying to explain to these people, hey, these are the days I can't work this week, and then like they still ask you, can you work these days? Like it's so annoying. Yeah, I think I'll probably end up getting fired from at least one of them. I'd say in the next 2 weeks. Uh, I'm more likely to think probably the salad place than the other one. Oh, or rather the one that's like closer by. Ah, yeah, more so them than the restaurant. But anyways, I'm about to get off of here. So thanks for showing up, and we'll see what happens during this really wacky week.